Ha! Happy Friday, everybody! Jeff, I witnessed your generosity before the stream started. That was so kind of you to gift 20 memberships. What a kind thing for you to do. Also, everybody, today is also the BTT Inside Access stream, which is exclusively for members at that level. That's at 6:30 p.m. this evening. So if you're a member at that level, I hope you can join in live. It'll stay up for those members afterwards. And if you are not a member at that level, you might want to consider upgrading or joining today so that you can join in that conversation. That's just we just talk about whatever you want to, basically. Thanks, Donner. Thank you for gifting some memberships as well. So let's see here. We have 3 excellent stories to discuss today. It's a pretty busy Friday. I got my Acolyte screeners. Hey, Armani. Thanks for joining an Inside Access level. I'll see you later. So we got a lot of really, June is coming up. It's going to be really crazy. Hey, Aralysis. Thank you. We're going to have a lot of TV to discuss. I'm very excited about it. And some pretty good movies, too. Inside Out, too. Save movies, basically. All right, so I got the 4 episodes that everybody else in the press got, James. Alex F., thank you. 10 memberships. So kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And Optimus Prime Ribs, today's all about you. We're talking Transformers. Your guys' generosity continues to really blow me away. All right, so let's get started with the 3 stories. As always, please keep your questions and comments to the story at hand. But at the very end of the stream, of course, as always, you can ask me anything you want for the last 10 minutes. All righty. That's right, Jeff Blue. Pride Month starts tomorrow. And so that'll be an excellent part of June as well. Oh, my shirt kind of matches that, actually, now that I see the rainbow flags that you put up there. All right. Oh, for some of you, that's right. It's already June. Okay, so that's great. So happy Pride Month to you. All right, so story number 1. Here we go. Hold on. Boop. Sorry, Snake Eyes. I covered poor Snake Eyes up. That's okay. He's hiding. He's getting ready to pounce. All right, so boop. All right, so yesterday during the live stream, I reacted to the news in real time that Chris Hemsworth was in talks for the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie. And my immediate reaction was, wow, was the Furiosa box office that bad? But of course, we all know that it was that bad. It's interesting. CM says that they feel that this is beneath Chris Hemsworth. Let's do a poll. I feel the feeling, in my opinion, is that they feel that maybe he could bring up the IP. But I think it could go either way, to be honest with you. I think it's really, I think they haven't chosen a director yet. So, do you think Chris Hemsworth is a match with G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover? So, he's a great fit. He will level it up. It's beneath him. In my humble opinion. And then I think those are the only 3. He's a great fit. He will level it up. It is beneath him. Okay. All right. And of course, as always, anyone who's watching can vote in the poll. All right, so nobody said there's no clarification as to who he'd be playing, although many people, when the news broke, were like, oh my God, he should be Duke. There's Duke, who Channing Tatum played in the other G.I. Joe movies. He wasn't blonde. What the heck? But, Chris Hemsworth, of course, is. It's funny, Dwayne Johnson did the second G.I. Joe movie, but Dwayne Johnson was on his way up. So it's hard to tell if, maybe Chris Hemsworth is on his way down or what. It's been pointed out in the trades that he is doing a voice in the upcoming animated movie Transformers 1, which had a trailer come out that, appalled adult fans, but, kid fans, rightfully so, were excited, and so were family audiences. Word on the street in Hollywood is that Transformers 1 has tested extraordinarily well. and that comes out in September. So I guess they feel, he's already technically a part of the Transformers franchise. So is Scarlett Johansson, I guess technically, and Brian Tyree Henry. But I don't think he'd be playing, Optimus Prime, obviously. He'd be a human in this world. Now, of course, where's this all coming from? Well, the end credit scene, okay, and Transformers Rise of the Beasts had Michael Kelly, love that guy, great character actor, Michael Kelly being the guy, we'll see if they keep him, but why wouldn't they, who heads up the G.I. Joe Transformers organization. Well, really, I think he heads up G.I. Joe, and then he was bringing in Anthony Ramos, who, of course, pals around with a bunch of Transformers. And, not only does that little, gauntlet that he has on help him out, but, of course, it turns into a fully fledged Transformers set of armor for Anthony Ramos, and Anthony Ramos would be on the team, I'm assuming, as well. Anthony Ramos is in the upcoming Twisters movie. I love Anthony Ramos. I would hope that he would be a part of this film. Potentially, it just got a major upgrade. So maybe he's going to play Duke. I don't think that Chris Hemsworth would join the team if he wasn't going to be the leader of the team. So yeah, that's funny that you say, Diego, that it's like an Iron Man suit, and then Chris Hemsworth would be kind of like Captain America. I wonder if they'd make a joke about that. That he was kind of, basically, Thor was doing Captain America. That would be hilarious in my opinion. So it's interesting that Paul Brunel says bring Michael Bay back, because back in the day, it was actually really great to be part of a Transformers movie because Michael Bay brought in the ka-ching. All right, so look at some of these movies there. You can see, where'd my arrow go? You can see that back in the day, at the height of Michael Bay's glory, these movies were bringing in $1 billion back in 2011 and 2014. But then 3 years later, about half the box office, and that's why Michael Bay don't make these movies no more. Travis Knight did a Bumblebee movie, which significantly underperformed, although it was cheaper to make at $465. And then Rise of the Beasts, which tried to be like a little bit more of a adult film, go back to the Michael Bay era, actually did even less with $437. So, the franchise isn't in a fantastic space. Art Lover says, is Chris Hemsworth thinking this will be Barbie for boys? With Chris Hemsworth in it, maybe it will be. Maybe that's what they're thinking. Again, as I said, they're thinking maybe he'll level it up. If you look at the G.I. Joe box office, hold on, I'll be back. The G.I. Joe box office is pitiful. Very, very low. Look how poorly Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins did. I liked that movie. This is why Henry Golding doesn't get any work, though. Look at that. $34.6 million worldwide for Snake Eyes. That's just shocking. I don't even know why G.I. Joe is being involved in this party. Why don't they just I guess maybe it makes it seem a little bit more fresh. It doesn't seem like just yet another Transformers movie. Perhaps if you throw G.I. Joe in there, it's a little bit more exciting, maybe. I don't know. This seems really like it's played out to me. So hold on. I have a couple more things to say, but let me close the poll on this. All right, so 42% of you think he's a great fit. So that's encouraging. 29% of you, oh, thank you, Matt Stone. 29% of you think it's beneath him, while it's 27% of you think it'll level up. But that means that 70% of you basically feel this is a good idea. So that's awesome. That's great. Aubrey, we love you too. That's such a nice thing to say. All right, so let's look at this from let's look at it from the two different perspectives, right? If you're Paramount, I agree, Jordan, G.I. Joe has never really quite worked out yet. And it could under Chris Hemsworth. He's in the Extraction movies where he's phenomenal. And maybe they're hoping it'll be a little bit like that. And that makes me excited, to be honest with you. So from Paramount's perspective, they go, well, people like Chris Hemsworth to a degree. We can get him, I think they probably are still going to have to pay him a lot of money, I would think, to do this. You would think you could maybe get him cheap after Furiosa. But considering he got the best reviews out of the film, and he is still Thor, and the Extraction movies are hot on Netflix, thanks, Jerry, I think you'd still have to pay him quite a bit of money to do this. But I think they feel he could probably bring it up, maybe bring a little bit of cachet back to the brands. And so he would be worth whatever his agent is asking for. So I think from Paramount's perspective, they're like, oh, do you think we could get him? Let's ask him. I bet it's more than 15, Aided Buffalo. I would suspect he would get 15 to 20 and definitely a part of the gross. I mean, I don't see how he could do this without getting a part of the gross. Alan Ritchson is a good idea. You know, maybe he certainly would have been more affordable, Green Lantern's light. Andrew, you think Chris Hemsworth's only getting 7? He's freaking Thor. No way he's going to get such a small payday. It's definitely double digits. Up front, for sure. I mean, for him to be willing to do this. Now, of course, Hasbro is behind this, as is Steven frickin' Spielberg. He's still a producer on these movies, so I'm sure he's not above making a call himself and being like, hey, Chris Hemsworth, don't you want to be pals with Steven Spielberg? And he's like, this sounds like a pretty cool group to hang out with. And again, don't forget, Chris Hemsworth has really struggled at the box office outside of his Marvel movies, and Furiosa did not work out, and only the Extraction movies, that's the only thing he has going for himself, and those are on Netflix. So I think we have to see who the director is. I think the director is really, really important to make sure this has the right tone. I would even see if I could get Sam Hargrave, who directs the Extraction movies, to do this. I'd be like, how much would it cost for the Extraction package, please? And then I would put that on my movie. And then I think everybody would be really freaking excited about it, actually. So what do you guys think? And I know a number of you are asking about, what about Thor? But I think that he'll still make Thor. Kevin Feige's dance card is real busy. I think he's got time to make this movie. That's right, Heinz Adventures. Chris Hemsworth has also been in a Ghostbusters movie and a Men in Black movie, and neither one of them did very well. You're a good negotiator, Heinz. Chris Hemsworth's team goes, give me 15 to 20. And you go, oh, look, here's my Men in Black International DVD. Said no one. You'll take 10 and love it. Maybe with those movies in mind, I'd be like, okay, I'll give you 10 up front and a part of the gross. I definitely feel I have to give him a part of the gross. And he works hard to promote his movies, which I think is also a really nice quality. But man, those other movies really tanked. He was not the fault. Ghostbusters wasn't his fault, though. You guys are really being mean to Chris Hemsworth. Look at you disrespecting him left and right. Under 10, no back end. My God. Oh, you guys, what happened? This is why Furiosa didn't do well. There's no respect on his name. You guys are like, you'll take 8 or 7 and like it. And that's it. Oh. Poor Chris Hemsworth. So sad. He works so hard. He's such a nice man. Look at J. Jonah Jameson saying Chris Hemsworth needs to put respect on his own name first. Jonah, you got to get along with somebody. You guys are funny. Tamed the Three Bears says, I feel like he's falling into the John Cena realm where he's just muscle in a muscly goofball. Ooh. Well, this stream turned into a Chris Hemsworth intervention. I do think that there is some concern about that, you know, and also Conor McGregor's coming for all of them with his craziness. And also John Cena will do absolutely anything. He'll be in any project. He'll do anything. He's like, I feel that John Cena is in the Jason Momoa camp. I think Chris Hemsworth's a little bit higher. Guys, so rough. Ragu says those screaming goats really hurt him. Those screaming goats were not funny. Travis Kelce, Nacho Flores. Maybe, I don't know. Travis Kelce did say he wants to be in movies now, and you're like, we've created a monster. But, you know, I think Travis Kelce would maybe be coming for Jason Momoa and John Cena, but not Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth can actually act. He's wonderful. You guys are being so mean to poor Chris Hemsworth. All right, so let's go on to the next story of the day. Chris Hemsworth's like, please move on to the next story. I can't take any more of this. All right, story number 2. Oh, wait, I'm missing one picture. Boop. this is a crazy headline. I can't believe it. Has hell frozen over? Everybody look out your window. Is it raining cats? Are cats and dogs living together? Because Warner Brothers is talking to Zack Snyder about teaming back up again to do a 300 series. Not with DC, but with a 300 series. That to me is incredible. That just goes to show you that Zazie just wants to make a buck. That's all that Zazzy's interested in. And I find it really, really interesting. Particularly with Zack Snyder coming off of Rebel Moon, which did so incredibly poorly. Like really, really poorly. But then again, at the same time, everybody's so drunk on IP still these days that I don't really think that you could make 300 without Zack Snyder. I don't think anybody else could mimic his very distinct style, which of course was at its peak with 300, and no one had seen it before. Everybody was like, "What's this craziness?" That's why I did read the poll results, Leo. That's funny. Game of Thrones side piece, Jamie. We'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, 300 was, his big breakout movie. It did incredibly well. It put him on the map. It started a beautiful friendship with Warner Brothers, which apparently is coming back. They just can't quit each other. All right, so they want to do a TV series. Now, it's important to point out that this would be for Warner Brothers Television, but that does not necessarily mean it would air on any of Warner Brothers channels or streaming services. It could go out to anyone, just as, Prime Video is doing the new Batman animated series. So they're developing it at Warner Brothers, and they'll produce it, but it could end up anywhere. It could have a home at any place. Also, there's nobody else. We don't know how big Zack Snyder's participation is. We don't know if he'll actually direct it himself, although he's pretty available. He could just be a producer. There are couple of different ways that it could go. Also, I don't think he could direct every single episode. Maybe he could. But, maybe if they could get him to direct the first episode, I think that would I don't know how powerful his fandom is at the moment. But, I think, I really don't see how you could do it without him. All right, so early talks, and there's no specific guaranteed word on what they're going to do, but the rumor is that it would be a prequel because, of course, Sparta fell in the movie. So it would be a prequel, probably at the height of Sparta's awesomeness, which I guess is a good place to make a series. Now, I think that this is coming out of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and then, of course, Shogun. I think everybody's looking over their IP being like, what do we have like this? Because Shogun was so successful. Although, wait till you see the Nielsen ratings this week. It is very close to Gladiator, Paul Brunel. That's interesting. But, yeah, I think they feel, it's going to be in that vein. But would it? I don't think the 300 movie was in that vein. Some of you are mentioning some of the TV series. What is the TV series? It was about Rome. That was kind of, a couple of people came out of that. What was that series? It was also a little beefcakey. Was it just called Rome? Yeah, Stars. Rome on Stars. And also the Spartacus show as well. You're right. Yeah, I feel this seems more like that. And that's not where we are right now. I think that both Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and Shogun have an intellectual, historical quality to them. And so basically, if you were going to do this, you would need to have to layer in a sophistication factor. And you would need to talk about Sparta and Athens and how those city-states differed, and, what the politics of the region was like at that time. Then it would work, potentially. But I don't know if, Zack Snyder would have to be responsible for the visuals. And then as Jeremiah Rivera pointed out, you'd really need to bring in a different writer to bring it up to the current trend. So we'll have to see if everybody would be open to that, if it would be possible. So, maybe. All right, you guys want a poll on this? Let's see here. That's right, Danny. 300 is based on a comic, but not on actual historical events. But I still think that that's the trend right now. I think you would have to do a hybrid mix like Shogun. Shogun, of course, was fictional, but it was based on historical events. Okay. So let's see. Are you interested in a 300 streaming series? Heck yeah. Hey, Rick71. And then only with Zack Snyder. And then yes, but layer in history. And then no thank you. All right. Anyone can vote in a poll. You know, there are a lot of similarities to Themyscira as there were to Sparta. You know, I think they, PG-13'd it up, but I feel like, you can see the Zack Snyder influence. CM says, any questions or comments, while you guys vote in the poll. CM says, seems like when movie series underperform, they go to TV to rehabilitate the image of the franchise. Sometimes they do, for sure. I think it's become a valuable tool, in the toolbox of these studios. Jamie, you want Vikings? Wasn't there already a Vikings show on Netflix that was very popular? Aralysis points out, where's the Themyscira series? Weren't they going to do that? James Gunn had announced it. He announced a lot of stuff. But yeah, this would seem to be at a crossroads. Let's see. Elise said, would you bring back Frank Miller? Yes, I would, for sure. Even if it's just some kind of an executive producer, just because I would like him to help promote it and to give his stamp of approval. But it would be nice to hear his ideas. The problem is that Frank Miller is very dated in his approach, I don't know if people would be as Frank Miller, of course, is an artist. I think people have obviously, rightfully so, a lot of respect for what he contributed to the comic book medium. But I think that he has not evolved with the times and the audiences. So I think, he's very 90s. Look at the Sucker Punch love. Let's see here. Oh, Ragu says, will Henry Cavill be in the show? That's a fascinating idea. Obviously Zach and Henry are getting along because Henry helped promote the Snyder cut, of the Justice League. So maybe they would, I think both of them would like to do well. And I think Henry Cavill obviously would be very well received in that kind of a show. That's actually a very good idea, because who would be the lead? Obviously Henry Cavill's trying to make Highlander, but that's very interesting to me. That'd be crazy. They would reunite all those people that crashed and burned with the Justice League, but Warner Brothers would be like, come back and do 300. See. Let me close the poll. I think we're ready for the last story. All right, are you interested in a 300 streaming series? 48% of you say no thank you. Whew. Wow, that's almost half. 23% of you say yes, but I was before we brought up Henry Cavill. 23% say yes, but layer in history. 15% of you say only with Zack Snyder, and then only 12% under any circumstances. That's pretty rough. J. Jonah Jameis says, put Henry Cavill and G.I. Joe with Chris Hemsworth. That's not a bad idea. I like that idea. But, Henry Cavill has not been bringing in the box office, I got to tell you. Although Gentlemanly Warfare has done pretty well on on digital. Stasis says, maybe somebody should try at Assassin's Creed again. You get the history aspect, and video game adaptations are doing well now. But isn't Assassin's Creed having some kind of scandal I saw? Look, Ben 10 says, let's get Gal Gadot back in here. I don't think you want to make this like a Justice League reunion, because that's just going to bring up all the drama again. For those of you asking about Gerard Butler, there's no word on whether or not, there's no idea on casting. This is just in the very early days of development. But it's been so long since the movie came out, I don't think the original cast would be able to be involved. Okay. All right. I think we're ready for the next story. All right. Story number 3. Boom, baby. Welcome to Derry. All right. So there's a very nice still that came out from a. Where'd it go? Here we go. This was a lovely still that came out from a preview reel for upcoming Max shows. This is for 2025. Welcome to Derry. It's apparently taking a very long time to film this and release it, because why isn't the show out now? But anyway, I think it looks good. I did see some early footage, and I thought it looked fantastic, to be honest with you. It looked very cozy, so I liked it. I liked the way it was shaping up already. This is going to be on Max, but the reason we're talking about it today is that, and I don't know if this deal was just made or it was just only announced now, because you would think it had already been made because they've been filming this show for quite a while, but Bill Skarsgard will be returning in his role as Pennywise to terrorize a different batch of kids. This is, again, a prequel. That's right, it is the 1950s. You can see clearly it has a diverse cast, something the movies did not have too much. But it's going to be, Bill Skarsgard will be returning, and he also gets an executive producer credit. So they sweeten the deal for him. But what's interesting to me is that I wonder what's going to happen with Andy Muschietti. You know, he's in a very different place than he was after the first It. The first It was hugely successful. Oh, that's right, Leo. This does work with CM. CM's comment about trying to fix this the Stephen King's franchise after a disappointing second film with a series. So Andy Muschietti, he's very much behind this, but he's in a very different place than he was after the first It movie. Not only did the second It movie, was it not as well received, but of course, it's after The Flash. The Flash, obviously did not do well. There's been no chatter about the Batman movie, even though it has a director, and Muschietti seems to be focused more on Welcome to Derry right now. So I'll be curious to see if that Batman movie even gets made, even though every actor on the face of the earth is lobbying to be that Batman. I don't know why. They don't even know how the Superman is going to turn out. I'd be like, why are you guys all so quick to sign up for what might be, you don't know how that ship is, if it's sailing or sinking. But yeah, so it's like, this is a small story, but it's good for Bill Skarsgård. He struggled. He's going to be in The Crow. I don't think anybody's going to see that. He struggled as an actor to find something for himself, really. So I guess this is very nice for him to be able to do it. And it's right on the heels of him complaining that they put, I want to be Batman, Albert Diaz. I love Batman. But, Bill Skarsgård was just complaining that because the studio had released a first look image of him as Pennywise, a still image, he said at first everyone was very negative about it. Oh, that's right. He has Nosferatu coming up. I hope that's good. But, it's weird. His brother, Alexander Skarsgård, plays all the hot roles, but he gets all the creepy roles. But Boy Kills World did not do well, which, of course, is him. Does anybody have any questions or comments about this story? Dane says, Bill is more of a chameleon, but he's not really taking character roles, though, is he, right? I mean, like, The Crow is not that kind of good work for him. Elise, I'm not sure if Stephen King is involved. I think it's an original story. Look at Ivan, got a membership again. Mandito says, do you think they'll show more of Pennywise's spider form? I don't know if they can afford it on this show. Let's see. Alberto, I think the reason they're doing a prequel is they want the 1950s setting, which I think is, is inviting. But I think that's the reason that they did it. Also, what would Main Street, Derry's a small town. Today, it probably wouldn't exist, but it would be at the peak of its era in the 1950s. Aurelius says, are there any horror series on streaming that have done well? I guess really only Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story, right? Oh yeah, also Stranger Things. That's funny. Deguy Tai says, it's 1950s Stranger Things, which is funny because, of course, that's what they're trying to do with the new upcoming Stranger Things play in London, which is a prequel. Oh, look, Taylor got gifted a membership. I love people discovering they got gifted a membership. Oh, that's right, Shay. Chucky has actually done pretty well as well. And Mike Flanagan, you're right. So horror can do very well. Mike Flanagan just got himself, it's been confirmed he's going to take over Exorcist because, he did pretty well with streaming shows. Natalie Sue says Bill Skarsgard should play Scarecrow. He'd be an excellent Scarecrow, but I think it would be so much like Pennywise. I don't know. I'd worry about it diluting both as a result. All right, I think we're ready for the Q&A. All right. We're running a little fast today on a Friday. Booyah! All right, so it's 4:25. You can ask me anything you'd like until 4:35. President Progressive says, would be much more interesting as a series exploring it during the early USA and exploring Native American culture. Oh, that's right, because he was supposed to come in that time period. And, that's interesting. That would have been, I think, I don't know. I mean, that would have been like maybe a little more true detective-like. That would have been a good pitch, President Progressive. Paul Brunel says, do you know if there's any truth to the Mummy 4 rumors? I have not heard anything about that. Would it be like with Brendan Fraser? Let's see here. NoFX says, Grace, what are some improvements Marvel could make on the Deadpool Wolverine marketing moving forward? The popcorn bucket didn't stick the landing. I'd take a little bit of a break if I were them. I think they're in a really nice position. And then I would probably start things up again, in July. I think I'd take a break in June because the movie is really far out. And then in July, I think at this point I probably would release another trailer to show that it wasn't going to just be, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds riffing off of each other for like 2 hours. I'd try and play up that there was more to the movie. I wouldn't give too much away, but I would try and make sure people knew that it was, that there were other characters in it and it was going to have a broader scope. Stardust says, what are your top 3 Will Smith movies? Ooh, King Richard, love that movie. I would also say Men in Black, obviously. And then, he's made actually a lot of good movies. I think Pursuit of Happiness was really good. He's made a lot of movies that are really excellent. I mean, he was a movie star for a reason. I'm seeing Bad Boys on Monday. I feel pretty good about my top 10. Independence Day, obviously, though, of course. Happy birthday, Chris! Let's see here. Man on the Moon says, would you cast Alan Ritchson as Deathstroke instead of Batman? No, I wouldn't cast him in any of these roles. He could maybe be Booster Gold. A lot of competition. Everybody who wants to be Batman actually would be a better Booster Gold. That's how I feel about it. Oh yeah, I Am Legend. I didn't particularly personally like I Am Legend that much, but yeah, that was obviously one of his biggest movies. Vibe says, who would you cast to play Storm? I like, some people are saying, Jodie Turner. I believe, let's see here. Jodie Turner Smith, who's in The Acolyte. I think she's a nice choice. Let's see here. Zay says, does Inside Out's animation look lower? I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I haven't seen the actual film yet. Bernardo, I thought that Netflix's Eric was okay. I mean, it could have been better, but it's you can watch it. Trace, thank you for asking. My eye is doing a little bit better, but I am letting it rest until Sunday. The contact lenses will be back on Sunday for Movie Math. Ragu, I did not read any of the current X-Men comics. I think they haven't been good for a while. I dropped them. I will start again when they pick up the new creative teams and they kind of do the relaunch. I think that's next month, right? Stebity says, what new TV shows are you looking forward to this summer? I'm very excited for June. I'm excited I've already watched The Boys season 4. I can tell you about it on June 11th. House of the Dragon. I am interested in The Acolyte. And then what else is coming out? I'm excited. I'm interested. I thought The Umbrella Academy looked really good, the trailer. The new Batman animated series, I'm interested in that. The Terminator anime series seems interesting to me. I have a list here on my computer. The Bear, obviously. And then also Only Murders in the Building season 4. It's pretty darn good summer. We got a lot of good shows. Let's see here. Vanille says, do you think Keanu Reeves will do you think Matt Reeves will give in to be in the DCU? No, I don't think that he will, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Taylor, thank you for gifting a membership. Let's see here. Lazombra, I do not dress up. Maybe for Deadpool and Wolverine, I'll wear my X-Men jacket. That's maybe the best I can do. Let's see here. Thanks, Yessie. I hope you have a great weekend, too. Movies TV Review says, who would you cast as Batman for the DCU? I'd rather have Robert Pattinson be the Batman for the DCU. Me too! I don't think you can do better than Robert Pattinson right now, and I don't see why you have to have a competing Batman. I thought John Hamm was a pretty good idea for an older Batman because, it's going to obviously have Damian Wayne, James Gunn said. Let's see here. House of the Dragon LP comes out in mid-June. Actually, I think it drops on Father's Day. Oh, that's right, Arts. Art Sweet Tooth is returning for its final season, but I don't watch that show anymore, so I don't have it on my list. But there are some other shows coming out. Oh, hey, Billy. I'm sorry you missed the stream. Griffin says, Grace, do you think The Bear stands a chance in drama if it's switched? Season 2 was so emotional and drama-filled. No, I think the drama, also, they're both, I don't think they would want to have it compete with Shogun. It's the same network, and, they've just moved Shogun into that category. So I think everything will stay the way that it is. Let's see here. Paris says, Grace, what do you think adding the X-Men will save the Marvel Universe, and do you think they should go with a young cast or more mature? Well, let's see how it turns out, Paris, but I think obviously they should go with an older cast, especially with how well X-Men 97 did. I don't think anybody wants to see teenage X-Men. I really don't. I mean, I would lose a serious amount of enthusiasm for the MCU X-Men if they were all teenagers. I told you yesterday that both the Venom trailer and the Alien trailer are next week. Alien, I heard, was Monday. And now also some people are saying Venom is Monday as well. I think it's nuts that they're both going to drop on Monday. I hope one of them moves. Because it's, although Tuesday is like really busy. So I don't want them to be on Tuesday either. So I guess they might as well both drop on Monday. We'll see. I'll be covering both those trailers. Trailers and breakdowns. Live breakdowns. It's going to be a busy day on Monday, and I hope it starts early because I have to be at a Bad Boys screening at 6 o'clock. The Venom thing might be a teaser, and then I wouldn't do a live breakdown for that. But Alien is ready for a full trailer. iHeartMovie says, how do you suggest I spend my birthday tomorrow? How great it's on a Saturday. I would go out and have a great time. I would do your favorite thing. I would do something you really know that you love to do. Oh, hey, Jico, I'm sorry your audition didn't quite work out. But yeah, it's great that you put yourself out there. Billy Adora says, if I go to the movies this weekend, what should I see? I think you should definitely see Young Woman in the Sea. I thought that was just a fantastic, fantastic movie. If you don't see that or it's not playing anywhere near you, I would consider... I liked Furiosa. I thought that was good. And also, I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a good movie. And I know that's still in theaters. One more minute. Oh, Brandon, you went to see Young Woman in the Sea. I hope you enjoyed it. Randall says, hey, Grace, how do you feel about the movie Atlas? Do you think she should stay in the Netflix space? Jennifer Lopez is having a tough time. She just canceled her concert. She said it was to spend more time with her family, but we all know the ticket sales have been poor. So, I feel, I was talking to some people and they said her recent documentary really ruined her image. Oh, Robert, your birthday is today as well? Congratulations, happy birthday. Oh, thanks, War and Peace. Lander says, favorite movie from a Latin American filmmaker. Ooh. Let me see. I think it would be J.A. Bayona. But he might be from Spain. Yeah, he's from Spain. So I guess it would be something from Guillermo del Toro. What did I like? I guess Pan's Labyrinth. Let's see here. Mish says, hi, Grace, MCUT. Also, I resigned from my new job today after a month and got offered a new opportunity. I felt bad to resign, but excited for this new job. You got to do what you got to do, Mish. I think you were responsible. Oh, The Revenant. Birdman. Yeah, that would be it. And I liked Roma as well, Nacho. Yeah, I like these choices better. I would be Birdman or Roma. I really like both of those films. I heard the other day from a friend of mine in the industry that Roma did not do very well. I felt bad about that. Teriyaki Donuts, great name. I'm not sure how Horizon's going to do anymore. The word out of Cannes was that it was not great. And I'm not sure how Kevin Costner's doing right. Also, I think a large chunk of the people who would be interested in that movie are significantly distracted by political stuff that's going on. Let's see here. All right, it's 4:37. Let me just do some shout outs. Bye, Aralysis. What are you up to? What are you doing? Let me say hi. Hey, Lisa. CM says, on a walk in sunny Dallas, while Billy says, eating noodles in the UK. Linzik says, jumped on the stream after voting in my local election. Good for you, Linzik. Do your civic duties, people. Have a good weekend, Grace. You too, Linzik. James says, watching the stream and booking my ticket to see Young Woman in the Sea tomorrow. Oh, you're going to have a great time. I Am Your Father says, would you say that Young Woman in the Sea is better than Naiad? Yes, as I said in my review, it's way better. I did not care for Naiad. Aided Buffalo is eating some Indian food. Well, Elise says watching the new Hell of a Boss episode, it is fantastic. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hey, Danny in Guatemala. Ryan Sanchez says, about to take a nap with my sweet pooch, Haley. Aw, adorable. Well, Art says, I was gifted a membership last week and I finally made it to a live stream. Oh, welcome, Art. Mandito says, turning in my application for the Vet Tech program here in San Antonio while listening to the stream. Ah, fingers crossed for you indeed. And then Liam says, what new X-Men comics are you looking forward to with the new relaunch? I've read the new X-Men comics before. I've never read the new X-Men comics before. I used to mainly read DC. Well, I'm just such a big fan of the X-Men that I'm just hoping that they're good. I'm not particularly excited about any of the issues individually, and I actually do not love the creative teams. But I'll give it a whirl. Dakota is having a scoop of pistachio vegan ice cream. Oh, wow. And then Nikki says, I'm prepping for tomorrow. My daughter turns 9 and is running her first 5K. Wow, your daughter's a boss. That's awesome. Oh, Matt, are you and your family going on vacation? Have a great time. You know, I have to say, Nikki, I hope that your daughter does a great job, has a great time running the 5K. I've run some 5Ks. They're doable, but they are a challenge, and I think that's wonderful that you're going to be doing it as a family. Cody says, getting ready to fly to Europe for the first time. Oh, wow. Bon voyage. You're going to have a great time. And Jeff says, I'm taking next week off of work for my birthday. Oh, I love it. I love having multiple days to celebrate a birthday. Heather says, working, avoid Dallas-Fort Worth if you are flying. Oh, is it crazy over there? Bye, Natalie Sue. You have a great weekend, too. And then iHeartMovie says, in Ohio, about to be home after a doctor's appointment that my parents had. Oh, that was very sweet of you to go with them. And then Ben 10 says, it's raining here in France every time, but this live stream is like a beautiful sun. Aw, that makes me so happy. Paris, I'm sure, France is beautiful any weather. All right, everybody, that's right, Danny. I'll see you guys later. For those of you who are BTT Inside Access members, I'll see you later at 6:30 p.m. And to the rest of you, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday for Movie Math. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.